Dear friends, I believe it is the moment when we die to ourselves. The moment when we die to our ego, the Spirit takes charge in our life. I think that's what Christ invites us, all of us, to have hope in the life in the Spirit and to hope in the life after death. In the Gospel of today, we find the Sadducees asking a tricky question to Jesus. That a man marries a woman and he dies, and all his brothers marries her, and at the end she also dies, having no children. Dear friends, this is a question that they asked to test Jesus. And we see the Sadducees in the Gospel only in this chapter. Other than we find them twice in the Acts of the Apostles. It was hard for them to believe in the resurrection from the dead and did not believe in the angels either. They did not have faith in the life after death, but they still kept on arguing on matters that they knew little with great arrogance. But Jesus instructed them well that marriage and having children are the matters of this world. The children of the resurrection are like the angels and the children of God. From here, Jesus takes us into the next notch, dear friends. That God is spirit, life after death is spiritual, and to deny the life in the spiritual realm is equal to deny God Himself. Jesus Himself said once that there would come a time when people would worship me neither in this or that mountain, but in spirit and truth. Yes, friends, He guides our hearts to hope and to give a possibility that there is life in the Spirit and to be motivated truly in it. Once upon a time, there was a father who took his son to a master to teach him for the higher studies. When the father was about to go back to his house, the father says to his child, "Son, you should learn well. You should study well." And the son took it very seriously and studied all what was taught. And in no time he could finish everything was studied. And when this child came to know that the master can't offer anything new, he decides to go back to his own village, and he was given a grand welcome. He was received from the streets to his house. Hearing this uncommon noise, the father just came out of the house and saw that his son was, coming along with the long procession. But the father wasn't that happy. He didn't come out and welcome him, receive him, but he just sat in his own house. And he asked a question to his son when he got in. "Son, did you learn everything? Did you learn that cannot be taught?" The son was clueless. He didn't know what his father was intending. He said, "I learned everything that was taught. I can teach any of the villages, my own villages. I can do that." But the father says, "No, son, you have to go back. You have to go back and ask the master, teach me what cannot be taught." The monk said, "Well, son, you are too tired now. Go take some rest. And tomorrow early morning, come here to meet me." The next dawn, the sun comes there, and this monk gives away his cattle. And he says, "Here I hand over you 400 of my cattle. And when their number turn into thousands, you should get back." And since this son has a true love for knowledge, and he loves his master so well, he just obeys. He takes all these cattle into a dense forest, and there days passed by, and the loneliness, everything started to question himself, started to rise, several questions started to rise in his mind. As I'm very learned man, and I'm here in this desert, in this forest, and nobody's there to respect me. All those questions were boiling inside him. And at one point, he even talked to the cows that, why don't you respect me? I am a man of such caliber and character, and why don't you respect me? The due respect, why don't you give? And the next day he realizes that it is he himself is so foolish to expect respect and things of that sort from even from the animal. Dear friends, he was sent into this forest to really have a look into oneself and to find out who one is. And years passed, and this was a moment where he could travel into himself, and he found the true meaning in the life in spirit. And then the animals, when their number turned into thousands, the animals said, well, it is, the cows came and told him, well, it is 1,000, why don't we go back? Then he gets back to his ashram and says, ashram, and the monk who sent him sees them coming. Then the monk said, here comes 1,001 animal. Dear friends, I believe it is the moment when we die to ourselves, the moment when we die to our ego. The spirit takes charge in our life. I think that's what Christ invites us, all of us, to have hope in the life in the spirit, and to hope in the life after death. And it is the most prime thing that we as Christians must do. May Christ bless us all to lead a life in the spirit. Amen.